You know, for a football game, there has been a lot of drama that has happened at the Super Bowl, and I'm not just talking about the game itself. Between scandals, halftime show mess-ups, and butchering the national anthem, you never know what could go wrong and what could go viral. Today we're going to talk about some of the weird stuff that has happened during the big game as we count down the top 10 celebrity scandals that happened at the Super Bowl. At number 10, Janet Jackson. The Super Bowl halftime show is one of the biggest televised events of each year in North America. Millions upon millions of people tune in annually to watch the year's biggest and probably most expensive performance. So for the people putting on the show, there is a lot on the line and the stakes are quite high for whoever is on stage that year. Normally these performances go pretty well, but there are always memes of the off moments, like Left Shark for example. But during the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show, viewers watched a serious wardrobe malfunction happen that was life-changing and career-altering to say the least, and it was more serious than just a meme. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake were performing together on stage that night when a move went wrong and Janet's breast ended up getting exposed. Following the televised incident that the media dubbed Nipplegate, the FCC sued CBS for the live mishap in a $550,000 lawsuit, inciting indecent exposure for their cause. Janet Jackson was also put through the ringer for her whole part in the scandal. Even though none of it was really her fault, it was just an accident that obviously wasn't meant to happen. It was then discovered that the whole incident happened because the two performers had added a costume reveal into their performance at the last minute, and though it was rehearsed, the stunt failed at the last minute, resulting in Janet's exposure. As a result of the backlash Janet started receiving, she was uninvited to the Grammy Awards that year, and her songs were blacklisted from the radio. Even the next few albums she released following the incident were met with a lot of negativity because of this scandal. It was all just an accident that caused a huge scandal and ended in someone getting cancelled and facing so much hate for no reason. At number 9, Prince. Just a few years after the infamous Nipplegate scandal, the Super Bowl had yet another halftime show controversy when Prince performed. In 2007, he stepped out of the box with his halftime show performance, and though the performance itself was nominated for 2 Emmy Awards, still faced controversy. During the performance, the silhouette of the singer was projected onto a huge flowing cloth that obscured the singer's view. It looked pretty artsy, but soon people came to take offense to what was cast in the shadow that was being created. The scandal erupted when a quote, perceived phallus was cast in the shadow where Prince's body met his guitar. This ended up causing some uproar amongst viewers, and as a result, the network broadcasting the Super Bowl, CBS, got a lot of complaints from those who tuned in to watch the performance. Before we carry on talking about some of the biggest Super Bowl scandals, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Tim Tebow. One of the biggest parts of the Super Bowl broadcast each year are the ads that run during the show. Advertisers spend millions of dollars to have their ads shown each year, and sometimes these ads can cause quite a lot of controversy. One of the more famous Super Bowl ad scandals comes from the pro-life Tim Tebow ad from the 2010 Super Bowl. The Celebrate Family, Celebrate Life ad starring Tim Tebow and his mother caused quite a lot of uproar as various groups ended up protesting against the so-called advocacy ad. The ad, which was created by a conservative group called Focus on the Family, cost the group's donors $3 million to run during the big game. People thought that an ad of this nature was inappropriate to run during an event like this because it was such a controversial issue. The entire 30-second ad was devoted to Tim Tebow's mom gushing about her miracle baby, and people thought that if there was a political message behind the ad, it was extremely obscured. The whole ordeal was pretty bizarre and very divisive as well, though Tim Tebow did defend the ad, saying that he knew some people wouldn't agree with the ad, but he still went along with it anyway. At number 7, Tom Brady. Now I can't say that I'm the biggest football fan ever because I barely understand the game. I root for the Miami Dolphins because my uncle told me to, and that's about it. I watch the Super Bowl for the commercials and the halftime show and go on my merry way because that's about the extent of my football attention span. But in 2015, going on your merry way was a little harder to do as the AFC Championship game was also shrouded in scandal that year and all eyes were on Tom Brady. The Deflategate scandal, as it was dubbed by news sources, saw Tom Brady caught in the middle of a huge sporting controversy after it was discovered that the balls that were used for the championship were deflated and that he allegedly knew about this. It was theorized that the balls could have been deflated to help Brady's grip and to make it easier for other players to catch and hold onto the balls. As a result of the scandal, Tom Brady was due to miss the first 4 games of the season. The Patriots were fined $1 million and the team lost 2 draft picks as well. It was bad press for Brady and one of his worst moments. At number 6, Barret Robbins. Imagine missing the biggest moment of your life or career, the event that would change your life forever. Well, for former Oakland Raiders center Barret Robbins, that's exactly what happened as he went missing just before his team was set to play in the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in 2003. Robbins ended up being a no-show for the biggest game of his life, leaving his coaches and teammates high and dry leading up to the big game. Barret was also known to have struggled with his mental health, and it seems as though this was part of the reason why he failed to show up to the Super Bowl match. The football player missed the game after leaving his hotel in San Diego without his wallet and cell phone in order to party in Tijuana, Mexico. After that, he was hospitalized and diagnosed with bipolar disorder. After this incident, things didn't get much better for Barret as he started using substances to cope with his mental health. He was kicked off the Raiders due to steroid use, and he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for an involvement in a shooting incident in 2005. He certainly had a serious fall from grace after his Super Bowl no-show. At number 5, Ray Lewis. Though this scandal didn't happen during the big game, it did unfold the day after the Super Bowl, and it was very big news. After the 2000 Super Bowl, former Baltimore Ravens linebacker Ray Lewis landed himself into a huge scandal when he and his entourage got into a huge fight in Atlanta that resulted in 2 people losing their lives in a brutal stabbing. The NFL player and his companions were later indicted on multiple violent crime charges. However, the privilege that comes with having fame came through to save Ray Lewis from having to serve time. He was given a deal to have his charges dismissed in exchange for testimony against his friends Reginald Oakley and Joseph Sweeting, both of whom were later acquitted. Luckily for Ray, this scandal didn't totally ruin his career, as following the incident, he was able to go on to win 2 Super Bowl titles and continue into having a career with ESPN. At number 4, Beyonce. Celebrities care a lot about their image. We know this already. They care about looking their best no matter what, but with the efforts to keep their image looking perfect in the eyes of their fans as well as the media, this has been known to cause scandals. We've seen this a lot with celebrities like the Kardashians, who cause minor controversies when their photos are either heavily edited or not edited at all. But another celebrity who's faced a scandal for something similar is Beyonce, and her scandal happened after her Super Bowl halftime show performance in 2013. Though the performance itself went off without a hitch, making headlines for her theatrics and also the long-awaited reunion of Destiny's Child, the aftermath was a little dramatic. People had been uploading photos of the performance online, but some of the images included some unflattering shots of the singer. Because of this, Beyonce's people tried to get those unflattering images removed from digital archives. Some media outlets were understanding and took the images down, but others did not, and as a result, instead of removing the images, publications like BuzzFeed instead publicized the email that was sent out by Beyonce's team, showing the world how ridiculous this whole situation was. At number 3, M.I.A. Now let's move on to another Super Bowl halftime show scandal. The 2012 Super Bowl halftime show had a lot of big names performing. Artists like Madonna, LMFAO, Nicki Minaj, CeeLo Green, and M.I.A. were performing, and looking back on it now, some people say that this lineup was already a recipe for disaster. People thought that if anything were to go wrong, it would have been Madonna who caused something because of her history causing controversy on stage, like that famous onstage kiss with Britney Spears, but in this case, the scandal fell on singer M.I.A., who ended up flipping the bird on live TV. This all became a bigger scandal than it needed to be because Madonna spoke out against the singer's actions, blowing things out of proportion, saying that she was appalled by the singer's actions and her disregard for those watching. This scandal died down relatively quickly, but later resurfaced in 2014 when the NFL sued the singer for over $16 million in restitution for her onstage antics. This was a big deal because at first, the NFL was only suing for $1.5 million. The 2 parties ended up settling out of court, but the details of the settlement are unreleased. At number 2, Christina Aguilera. If you're one of the lucky celebrities who gets to perform at the Super Bowl, all eyes are on you. The Super Bowl is one of the most watched television events of every year, so there's a lot riding on each performance. So imagine with all of that viewership, how embarrassing a mess up would be. Well, this is something that unfortunately Christina Aguilera experienced when she was asked to sing the national anthem at the 2011 Super Bowl. You would think that because she's American, then she wouldn't have a hard time singing the national anthem without any issues, but you would be wrong, because as she was performing, she messed up the lyrics and sang "What So Proudly We Watched" instead of "Or the Ramparts We Watched." In retrospect, it's really not that big of a deal, but when you have millions of eyes on you, that pressure can sometimes get to be a little too much to handle and can cause mistakes to happen. It's not the biggest scandal ever, but lots of people were talking about it and shaming the singer for that simple mistake. And finally, at number 1, Spygate. Now, this scandal was probably one of the biggest Super Bowl scandals ever because it was messy and very dishonest. This scandal from 2007, which was dubbed Spygate, was sparked by allegations that the New York Patriots had illegally videotaped the New York Giants defensive coach's hand signals. The Patriots head coach Bill Belichick was ordered to pay a $500,000 fine as a result. But that's not where it ended. The scandal came back again just 2 days before the Patriots and Giants were set to face off in the Super Bowl that year. A U.S. senator demanded a meeting with the NFL commissioner to discuss what had happened with the two teams. 6 months later, it was revealed that this spying had happened before in 2002 when the Pats had recorded the St. Louis Rams practice playthrough. Now, I can't say that I understand football or football culture, but even I know that's messed up. Before we wrap things up for today, I want you guys to leave a comment down below telling me about any other Super Bowl scandals that you remember. I'm sure there are a lot more than the ones that I included on this list, so leave me some more of them down in the comments. Anyways, that's it for me. I've been your host, Brady, and until next time, stay safe, make good choices, and stay groovy, friends.